actually, it's partially in there. The thing this is really reacting to is human behavior, being very almost like addicted to being on the phone, being in social media, showing a different side of yourself than the actual truth, making everything seem fake, living a fake life. It's not really about the whether we have a crisis or not situation with the environmental crisis, or whether or not. I mean, there are different characters showing different kinds of very fake behavior in humans, being completely addicted to something that is not really real. It's not even about cell phones, but cell phones are of course a part of this. Yeah. Since the Carpenter, more songs that were completely sang or partially sang by male voice, usually Marco, has been coming. For instance, the Icelander, and there's definitely more. But in this is the first album where also Troy, who's just coming in, has a role. And come on.
I'm coming. I got completely lost. I've been walking around Hamburg for the last 10 minutes.
Well, there you go. Have a sip. We're just talking about the male lead vocals. So Troy's doing Harvest and Marco's doing Endlessness. And it's not really a plan. I think it's more something that happens when Thomas is writing, that he feels that things fit into place with and of course we have the possibility to share the songs and create different sounds and make it more diverse, and even that is something that just naturally comes. It's not a planned thing, not even for the future. It's not like, okay, the next album also has to have this or that, but of course Marco has been doing much more lead vocals in the past as well, just not on the previous album. And this album is next to having also lead vocals from both Troy and Marco, also a lot of harmony singing, where we join forces.
And that was one of our delightful discoveries. Is the blend of the three voices, Flora, Marco and myself, makes a really interesting sound.
It is. That's when I heard the Harvest, it was like, the Harvest, it's blowing. It's awesome. I love it. And for you, it's a nice situation. I mean, you can go off stage, have something to drink.
Not really.
No, she's got to be
because
there.
I mean, I sing.
She sings all the harmonies.
I sing the harmonies in Harvest in the choruses.
You do.
And some verses, and then Endlessness, I sing the pre-chorus. And the entire chorus. I do have a solo in it, so no, I can't really take it easy there.
There's no escape for it.
There's no escape, no, but that's all good because, I kind of like what I do.
Generally speaking, what happens is the song is put out there, is given to us to listen to.
By Thomas.
By Thomas, he writes the songs, and then we try to choose the right kind of ingredient, try and choose the right kind of flavour for that song, whether it's atmospheric distant guitars or whether it's an upfront flute or the uilleann pipes or anything. We look at what might be just the right kind of flavour to put into the song. So that's a contribution to arrangement that we all love to play around with when we're putting these songs together for the album. So it's delightful to do. Maybe this would work here. Oh no, that's terrible. How about this? That works. Yeah, let's try that. It's a case of exploring the armoury of instruments and seeing what fits best. It's always been on the horizon for Nightwish. It makes perfect sense to have an orchestral suite in Nightwish, because the orchestra and the choir is such a huge part of the makeup of the idea of Nightwish has always been symphonic.
But actually played at an opera. But that has not been in the making. That is. Yeah.
But we have toyed with the idea of doing a special show with an orchestra sometime in the future. But it's off in the future. We've no plans to do that. Well, me and Floor had this idea of the whole orchestral suite. Doing Wacken Festival, but just having that played, and we don't actually go on. Just the orchestra and the pyros and the orchestra. It would be really funny.
Would be perfect,
No,
There'd be a lot of really confused fans. Yeah.
Well, that's always the trick. It's a careful balance between everything, touring with Nightwish and doing things on the side, and family life and time for yourself, and yeah. I think the key lies more in relaxing also when you're working and while you're out there, because I can't really build up a fatigue and then go home and get super tired, because I have a 3-year-old. Any parent of young children knows that it's not exactly recovering around them. As wonderful as it is, they also, of course, take a huge part of energy. So the keys lies in daily work, recover, sleep well, eat well, take care of yourself on a 24/7 base. Yeah, and then of course it's great to actually have time off, and it would be great to have that at some point. It's been a while. Yeah.
Plus, the other missing element there is experience. You know, if you do it for a long time,
enough,
we know how to behave, sort of.
Yeah, we sometimes really don't know what we're doing.
Sometimes we do not behave, but we try.
That's the wine really.
Yeah.
It takes over.
We like to think that we can, but we can't.
How about you, Troy?
I'm always active. I'm always active musically. I'm always thinking in terms of music and what's next and what I can do. And like everyone else in the band, I've got other things that I do musically that I'm in hot pursuit of. So I do that, but I just try to, same as Floor, I just try to recalibrate and rebalance myself, and because it's a very strange world, touring. You know, when you get yourself into the touring bubble.
Yeah, it's a bubble.
It's very odd, but we're lucky in that we don't live in a vacuum in this band. We actually have fun together, and we've got a poker dice team, and we play at poker dice, and we interact and we have fun. We've got a curry club. We go to curries.
We go to bed before 1 o'clock at night.
We go to bed. Yeah, no. We're knocking on now.
But it's the only way you last.
Yeah, but in our pajamas by 11.
Okay. Yeah, with a glass
and
of
a
wine.
cup of cocoa, which has got whiskey in it, of course. Because we're rock.
So anything you're going to do in your free time while on tour? I heard that I think the singer and the guitarist of the band Baroness, they're going to run when they do have some free times, or like
run?
Training. Yeah.
Well,
that's never going to happen. If anybody's running, it's probably just me.
Flo does insist that I get up and do Pilates with her.
Pilates, yoga,
and Zumba.
Zumba, yeah, he's great. He's
really good at Zumba.
All the moves. No, I do personally like to work out.
Yeah.
And I always try to get the guys with me. But thus far...
While she's working out, we're trying to work out how to escape from it.
Yeah. In my case, that was when I was in high school, and I joined the school musical, the musical that the school was going to do, which was Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Were you in that?
Well, yeah, on like a school, high school level, being 13 or 14.
Oh, right, yeah. Because I was in West Side Story when I was a kid as well, at school, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and that laid a very fundamental foundation for I found out that I can sing. B, that I love being on stage, even though we did it only once. I went up there and I did my thing, and it felt like, this totally works against all odds, really. So but that music, back and forth, and it was in the time that it actually indeed was on a tape.
Mm-hmm.
Tapes.
Yeah. So I think, I never owned a CD of it. I wouldn't want that either.
Yeah.
I mean, the tape, it doesn't even exist anymore, but that was back and forth and all the time and singing along. And,
Have
You try.
And for me, it was the thing that I was totally addicted to, and it was driving my parents mad. Because I think I was about 11. Yeah, about 11 years old. I got the soundtrack to Jaws, the film Jaws.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with it. With that score, the John Williams score.
Yeah, I know.
And that really set me off. That set me on the road to where I am. But from there I ended up, like Floor, I realised what I wanted to do really early. Yeah. And at the time I was starting to learn to play guitar, and my dad had a band. By the time I was 15, I was playing bass in my dad's band, around the clubs of the north of England, which was a baptism of fire. Really, really out there. I mean, dangerous. But... So me and Floor, same thing. We started early, in our road. We started early on the road. But yeah, Jaws. That's my answer.
Nobody will ever see this video.
No,
again.
not even them. They won't even watch it.
Or it sounds so distorted
and terrible.
And then the lights, the camera and the recording facilities of the phone there did not equip for that amount of sound, that amount of light. I mean, I get that when you're there, you want to share it for a moment, you film a bit, and then you have it, or you can send it to your friends later on, because I'm sure it doesn't matter that it's an hour or two later. Yeah. But you have to stand. I had it too, also with the solo shows. It was a bit smaller, and people were standing right before me, texting. I want to just stop singing.
Yeah.
It makes me want to stop singing, because I'm like, oh, apparently it's not interesting. But of course, the rest of the people are there. But there were also people that were sitting. They had balcony seats, and they just sit like this the whole show.
Yeah, it's disturbing, isn't it?
I find it.
I mean, it's.
But it's so utterly pointless.
Yeah, the thing that comes from it is just not great, and. Yeah, once again, if it's for a small snippet, like a memory for yourself, or to share with a friend that couldn't make it, or maybe somebody
just a couple of shots, a couple of photographs, and put it away and be part of it, be part of the show. Yeah. It's great. I think a fire extinguisher would work. A fire extinguisher.
The cell phone extinguisher.
Yeah, when they sat there texting, just go, the fire extinguisher covered in foam. That would work.
I mean, there are musicians who just kick the phone out of the hand of the.
I can imagine the feeling, because I had it too when people right in front of my nose. It's a pointless aggression too. It's not, and you don't need to get aggressive with people, but I find that is as respectless as what that person is doing, and they don't even mean it that way. It's just that for some reason it's very hard to imagine that the person that's right in front of you, your maybe favorite artist, or an artist that you found worth spending money on, the effort of actually coming to the front, it must be so that you really like it. Yet if I try to have interaction with you, you're not there because you're on your fucking phone. Okay, moment lost. Gone forever, because after that I'm not interested anymore.
It's really ironic though, and it is ironic, because when we did the Decades tour, and we did the Decades live in Buenos Aires, DVD, Blu-ray, and you've got the introduction that you really liked, let's say no to digital slavery, if only for 2 hours, and there's a sea of phones, people, all the Argentinians,
filming that,
all of them filming that speech. The irony is just so good.
Yeah.
And that was what I'm thinking about when I heard your song Noise.
Yeah. Well, it's
actually
in
what
there.
it's about.
Yeah. That's I mean, a bit of it, sure, but not all the time. Then it becomes noise. Then it's lost in the. Yeah, you're not part of the here and now, that moment anymore, and it's just a shame.
It is.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
And see you in Frankfurt or somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Next round.
Yeah.
For sure.